lot of like offstage situations. But that being said, we got to jump back into Godly going up against xJcoolJ.
Yeah.
Game number 1 winner semis. Let's see what we got.
So Godly, before leading with the Chun-Li later on this year, was leading with Asuri many, many times. And so it's not going to be a surprise to me if the set goes south, that he goes into the Asuri Ditto against xJcoolJ, which I think he's just going to be on the Asuri the entire time. So let's go into this game number 1 here. Godly versus xJcoolJ, Gauntlets versus Guitars, a matchup that I feel like, depending on who you ask, it's favored either way, so might as well be 50-50. But Godly switches over the spear here, and xJ kind of waiting to see what Godly's going to approach with, and Godly just gets right through.
Yeah, Godly has been the one that's winning all these different interactions. Couple of down airs, able to seal out that stock really efficiently.
Yeah.
That first stock was all Godly. Controlling the stage, corner pressuring, edge guarding, just not off to the start that xJcoolJ would probably like going into this.
Yeah, and Godly did something really well that like I see players struggle with, and it's even something that I have problems with when fighting against other players. Is like when your opponent stands on the other side of the stage and kind of is like waiting to react to you, Godly is able to do the options that are able to respond to whatever dodge or jump that they're doing in those positions. And Godly was able to turn that into an edge guard right away. In fact, xJcoolJ can't he can't find any combo openers here. He steals the guitars away. Okay, that's like, that'll do it. Neutral
That's
sig.
an opening, yeah. Not a combo opening, but at least it's able to lead into the KO.
I don't know if you want to let that rip on stock 1 game 1 though, because now he's not going to hit another one of those all day. You only get 1 Asuri neutral sig per set.
And then they're like, okay, you know what? I'm actually not going to jump like that again. That's just like not going to happen to me.
You don't want to get dunked more than once. He's bringing it back pretty nicely, though. Guitar's working out well. Side light and a down light. The ground pound, the dodge through into the recovery disarms Godly, actually. This is a fantastic shot, stock from xJ so far. Down tick doesn't pivot it, though, and Godly gets a side light punish, but that's it. Not much more coming from it, and okay, that ground pound's only going to work once, I think. Nice recovery.
Yeah, we saw like another attempt to go through like one of those things, but Godly was just all the way above, not in any space where that would get.
I think if he did recovery there, he just got the stock, so I'm surprised he went for the end sig.
Was it just a misinput, maybe?
Well, it's kind of hard to. Maybe if he like misses his jump and because it's the same button, it's possible. Whatever the case is, he hasn't been punished too hard for that so far. Godly trying to catch a landing with the side sig, mixing up his movement with some dash lands here and there. But this is a there's really patient edge guard coming out from xJcoolJ. The side sig hits though, and that actually costs him.
Yeah, just crossed him up, got behind him a little bit faster than xJcoolJ could have anticipated. 2 stocks to 1, but you just need one like really good finisher to actually close this. But Godly off stage with the gauntlet, such a bad position to be in, goes through the ground pound, still unpunished, and recycles the situation. xJcoolJ bleeding out there.
Oh, okay, finally he gets another recovery. I'm just like imagining that when you said he just needs 1 strong hit to knock this out, that he's like actually thinking that as well. And anybody who thinks that against Godly finally sees themselves taking like 20 hits, and they're like, huh. How have I not hit him yet? And that's just, Godly thrives on those moments where he goes like, they just want to finish this stock off.
He knows how to play around your win conditions. He's like, okay, you're with gauntlets, I just have to avoid a recovery. I know how to do that, right? But right now, xJcoolJ just barely avoiding that GC side light, comes back in with a side light of their own, doesn't get the follow-up, comes back onto stage nice and safe. Really good hitbox of the neutral, actually putting Godly out there, but doesn't get a weapon in time.
Nice. That was really patient. I was completely ready for a delayed weapon throw edge guard there, but Godly kind of hovers in the space, fades back to the wall, and then quickly lets a sider go through, and he actually catches xJcoolJ's recovery, and then when you get that angled knockback there, a little bit of a spiking hitbox, that's just going to be it. And Godly wins that game 1 off of the back of his edge guards. I would say xJcoolJ, when in center stage, was getting the lead over Godly, but it was every time they went off to this right side of the stage, besides, I mean, that was kind of like an extended edge guard, that he just really suffered.
Yeah, that last stock especially, I feel like there was just like a slight, like, I don't know when, but it felt like there was a moment before this entire situation transpired that xJcoolJ could have gone back to pick up that weapon. Being unarmed like that off stage, that was a bad place to be in, especially stuck in disadvantage against Godly. Yeah,
and Godly will make it clear why it's so bad to be unarmed off stage. You don't have that weapon throw to be able to cover your head when making it back to the stage, and then gauntlets particularly take advantage of unarmed. It's just like arms that are armed, like it's just so much harder to fight against. We've seen a damage graph there with 427 damage coming out from the guitars to a measly like double-digit number for the sword. So in this matchup in particular, xJcoolJ is relying on those guitars to be able to scrap with Godly.
That was a weapon toss into the recovery with the guitars. That was kind of cute. Yeah. I really like that follow-up.
Yeah, and the kind of creativity I think is what xJ is going to have to go for here if he wants to take games off of Godly, let alone take the set. That was an amazing. I love what he's been doing with the guitar ground pound in the middle of these strings to kind of open up Godly, going for like these dodge downs or stay in place. Where Godly, I don't think has like the right reaction mechanism trained to deal with it. But that down to catches him falling down. Like, it's so cool because like if you get the right startup with the down signature, you get this hitbox right above your head that will drag people in behind you, and then it always launches you out in the direction that you're facing. So Godly makes sure to pivot that in a way that he'll get the earliest edge guard, and then he gets the stock.
Godly has connected almost every single one of those down sigs, right? So none of them are getting punished on whiff. But again, xJcoolJ just cleaning that up, not bleeding too much that first stock. Look at that second stock, excuse me. Just keeping it as even as possible.
Yeah, there's that ground pound coming out again. And if I remember correctly, off of downlight at a certain amount of dexterity, I think it's 6, you can get downlight ground pound true, or at least a 1 dodge frame window. I'll have to have the guitar mains correct me. But seeing him go for those there makes a lot of sense. I remember there was a time where like ground pound got like buffed on guitars randomly, but it wasn't actually random. It was like we're giving them this option out of downlight to continue strings on the stage, and xJ is making great use of it. Sidelight gets caught, goes for a dodge read, but he sidelights the wrong way, and Godly now off stage. Let's see if xJ can get this edge guard.
That was such an important dodge, and xJcoolJ just avoided putting himself into like the spirit blender at that point. Right now, looking for that dash jump neutral, not able to find it. Really good with punish. Sidelight as a get off me option. Eats a side from Godly, and then that's just ultimately going to set up into Godly's favorable situation, cleaning up that stock.
Yeah, Chun-Li, epic crossover for Wushang. It's pretty terrifying to be airborne against the character. And in fact, it's just, depending on the weapons that they have, it's terrifying to be in any position because that down stick can catch you stacked or right above your head. But all the neutral signatures, either whether it's from Spear or Gauntlets, are always going to be covering a jump. They'll never hit grounded. So as long as xJ knows the matchup and stays grounded, he can get right underneath that and continue getting some extra punishes. That ground pound was wild. So
same situation as last game, right? The issue is how do you actually close? Godly just so cognizant in avoiding win conditions, right? You just have to stay outside of those recovery inside of ranges.
He's fishing for downlight, and he's getting beat up for it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, tossing out that weapon. Goes for the down off stage, and nearly off stage against Godly with no weapon. xJcoolJ thankfully making it back.
He's trying
but still with no weapon, Godly just says, hey, me too, man. I got you.
It's so painful because it's like, if you can't hit sword downlight, he's literally just throwing his weapon, hoping that one of them will hit, and then he's going for an unarmed recovery or a sider. Sword neutralite is almost doing the job. I don't think Godly can make it back after that one. So that was a nice delayed weapon throw, but still, he took so much damage just trying to get a single hit on his opponent, and that might cost him game 2. Let's see what he can do with the Guitarist.
Okay, looking through that downlight, not able to find it. Sidelight, downlight, able to get the ground pound, chase dodge down and continuing it as well. xJcoolJ evening up that damage, but you still, okay, you know what? You reset neutral, you back to the ground, now we can play.
Oh, double nair. Okay, Godly's he's getting cooked here. What can he do? Falls with the gauntlets, doesn't put out an attack. That nair might get him an edgeguard scenario here, but so far it's been all xJcoolJ. Nair comes through, goes for the N-Sig read, falling side air, pivots it too hard. Down stick doesn't work that time, and he gets a side stick with the bounce off the stage. Means that gravity cancel side, can that do it? Godly saved his jumps. He has recovery. No.
Oh, but then goes through the GCD light a little bit too late.
What was that? Side stick there, recovery? There's no way. I was like, if that knocked out, that would have been insane. Now it's a one-hit game.
That was such like a confident low profile below deciding.
First downlight recovery of the game.
Just goes through the raw sider. Wasn't able to find it. You're off stage now. You whip that sider. How do you make it back on? You do not. Godly with the ground pound. That was tragic. That should have been xJcoolJ's game. That GCD light was just late. I feel like xJcoolJ just didn't have the dodge up until the very end.
I love that combo that we just saw there with the downs to come through into the ground pound. Yeah, this was rough. I really do feel like when it comes to the on-stage interactions, xJcoolJ is actually outplaying Godly. But when Godly has him off stage, Godly is not letting him get back. I think xJcoolJ has maybe made, out of the 6 recoveries that he's made 3 of them, which in Brawlhalla, that's an impressively low amount. So Godly is doing a fantastic job here. And once we get into this scenario, where you're sent this far out, I'm like, what do? You have to go for some kind of weapon throw and pray that it makes Godly not attack you. And the ground pound from Spear is just so oppressive when you don't have a dodge.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I just still have like a question. How do you feel about like that GC side light that we saw, as opposed to the GC D light when xJcoolJ had Godly off stage? Yeah,
I think it is a tough call to make. it would have been fantastic and would have just worked if Godly wasn't double down my side air and a ground pound on the dare. That's so much damage. It would have been great if Godly wasn't using Gauntlet Sair to recovery. He was like already getting ready for an option like that, because usually you use that if 2 jumps are used, you get that great horizontal knockback. The neutral sig almost knocks out, weapon throw, recovery's gone, he has to dodge back here. Godly just goes for hard ground pound, doesn't work. But yeah, it was a 50-50. If he went for D-Light, I think at that range he wouldn't have been able to get a connect with ground pound. So and sometimes you just want to be quick.
Yep. Okay, right now xJcoolJ just looking for something big this game, just completely weaponless right now, able to pick up that sword though. Yeah, looking through the downer, not able to find it.
Godly's looking for the gravity. Okay, xJcoolJ, what was that? Your gravity cancel size. Okay, what was I saying? He was looking for the gravity cancel downlight chase dodge recovery, which is like what Gauntlets have to work a little bit harder for their D-Light recovery than other characters or other weapons. It was an interesting punish attempt coming out from xJcoolJ on the charge down sig, but Godly still manages to make it away with that stock. And now an edgeguard scenario here, Dara. We've seen Godly get so much damage, sometimes even stocks off of those.
Godly didn't fully commit to the ground pound. Had Godly just held that a little bit more, that actually could have just evaporated xJcoolJ stock. Decided to play it a little bit safely, looking through the neutral leg pickup. Didn't actually find it quite yet. xJcoolJ just unable to get themselves onto the ground, unable to actually get themselves in a position to play the game. One little neutral leg, but that's just one-off hits. I feel like all of xJcoolJ's damage output was in like these insane Qatari follow-ups that have not been present this game.
Yeah, they were present for maybe a little bit of the first stock. Oh, dare Sair goes for the weapon throw, forces him low. Dive kick, that was a great dodge from xJcoolJ, and he gets the stuff recovery, and that was amazing fade back. Yep. He had to hold hard left to avoid the nair from Godly there to not have him have a chase dodge. Right. I think if Godly hit that nair, it would have just had enough force to knock him out. That's how behind xJcoolJ is actually. This is a rough game 3.
But if there's a weapon to make it back with, it is going to be Guitarist for xJcoolJ. You need that downlight, you get that neutral light. You're not able to get the downlight follow-up that time around. Just spacing out Godly, ends up whiffing the neutral light. Anytime you're pressing a multi-hit a neutral and you whiff it, that's just a free punish.
Yeah, I mean, still, I think that's the first time I've ever seen like Guitar and Light punish with side sig. Only Chun-Li. That side sig's so fast. It's like because if you don't connect with the move, it's just a little tap. You're like you can act out of it pretty quickly, and it still has a lot of force. So well played by Godly there to be like, okay, he's in the corner, he's going to look for something to stuff and approach. I'm going to wait for it and then attack him. And now he's one stock away from 3-0ing xJcoolJ and going to the winners finals here.
Yeah, Godly's edge guarding has just been so good. Able to actually touch the wall, get the jumps back, be able to make it back from the other side, but that side sig going to be coming in so aggressive. The weapon toss as well. Godly going out so deep. xJcoolJ, can you make it back? Yes, you can. Godly. You know
stalled with the emote, and now Godly's in a 1 stock to 1 situation. Uh-oh, buddy. What are you going to do now? Just going out there trying to Sair him.
Ooh,
egoed it a little bit. Oh, Dara, if he egoed it and loses, that's going to be so funny. I can't wait. Let's see what he can do. All right, that's an air.
xJcoolJ is just waiting for all these things. Godly has been punished so often for these now.
Godly throwing for content? I don't know. That was something. Neutral light hits. Dodge back, down light. Oh, he's going to win this. This is so funny. Side stick avoided out of the way. No, he jumps out of the side light. No, Godly. Celebrating after that one. Wow, still actually doubled the damage. 300 more damage. Wasn't quite double, but that was still a lot more. That's funny. You know, it's technically a strategy to like stall. The best thing that you can do to stall